Well, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. How you doing? How's things going? So, as you guys are coming on in, I will be working on some concepts. This concept is actually used for ASVAB as well as the ACCUPLACER, which I know a lot of you guys are planning on taking. So if you are one of those type of people that you're maybe taking the praxis, maybe taking the ASVAB, maybe even taking college algebra right now as we speak, and you need some assistance with solving rational equations, this is the live for you. Now, if you're like, all right, well, what about us GED people, T's people? Do we need to know this? Well, there are some components of it that you can use. So if you want to follow along, you can follow along as well. All right. So if anything, come on in, have a seat, just sit, observe, and just relax with it. I don't want you to be stressed out. I don't want you to worry. It's just a matter of us just breaking down math concepts that most people use. And I know there's going to be a question, when do I use this? Each and every day. But here's the thing. I don't know what you do each and every day because everyone does something different. Everyone has different perspectives, different hopes, different dreams. So I just want you to feel comfortable with any situation gets thrown at you. All right? Fabulous. So, hey, Janice, how are you? So if anything, right now, we have 3/5 is equal to x over 2 plus 1. And this looks crazy. Okay? Hey, Big Al, how are you? I'm doing okay. So just like if you were solving fractions, regular fractions, if we didn't even have the variables and we didn't have any equal signs, in order for you to add or subtract fractions, we need to have a common denominator. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to figure out what the common denominator is to help us really focus on the numerators of this equation. So just sit, relax, let me show you. So I noticed that we have 3/5, we have x over 2, so we have 5 and 2 as a denominator. Then we have a whole number. Now, anytime we're involving fractions, all the fractions should be represented. So I'm actually going to make this whole number of 1 be 1 over 1. So it doesn't devalue the 1, it just makes it into a fraction. So now I have 5, 2, and 1. So I need to know what is the, I'm going to put it over here, the LCM. Okay, what is the LCM for 5, 2, and 1? So that means I should be looking at the multiplication table. What is the lowest number that shows up in the 1 times table, the 2 times table, and the 5 times table? Yes, so Big Al, Janice, both saying 10. All right, good. David, yes, you can make that into a 10 out of 10. There you go. So if I'm going to do with my 5, that means I'm going to multiply everything here with that 10. I'm used to, and I'm going to be truthful, when I was taught this, I was taught that, okay, we want to have everything to have a 10. So if I put a 10 up here, that means I'm really multiplying that numerator by 2. Because I want to make that 5 into a 10. If we have a 2, what's missing, that means I want to make this x be multiplied by a 5. And what I want to do with the 10, I'm going to multiply this with the 10. I was always told that since your denominator is going to be exactly the same, which is 10, only multiply what you need. Because we just basically use the LCM to figure out what our numerator is going to be. So it's almost like, okay, now I got 2 times 3 equals 5 times x plus 1 times 10. So now we simplify it. We got 6 is equal to 5x plus 10. So now we can go into solving for the x. So we are going to subtract 10 on both sides. And what happens is these 10s will cancel out. Now what you're left with is your 5x. And it's going to equal my -4. So now we're going to divide both sides by 5 because we want to get x by itself. So 5 and 5 cancels out, which leaves me with my x. So my x is going to equal a -4/5. Please follow me. I'm also a maths teacher. Okay, well, introduce yourself. Do you do any trig? At times I do. Yep, at times I do. And if anything, I did some trig. Where's my thing? If you go, oh, here it is. So, here we go. If you go here, that's where I put all the recording of my lives. So since from February 2nd, all my lives are there. So all you have to do is either type my name or you type this. And when you go in, if you can do this, and this, that'll be awesome. So there are some trig stuff that's on there. So if you want. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So let's try again. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, okay, Audrey, like really you should multiply this by 10 and then you will divide and then you'll get your 2 up here because that's another way of doing it. Let me slide over here. So some people will say, okay, here was our original, which was our 3/5 is equal to x over 2 plus 1. And once we figured out what the LCM was, you just multiplied everything by that. So what happens is 10 and 5, they will reduce to give you a 2. So you're actually going to have 2 times 3 equals. Now you're going to distribute this 10 to everything. But if I'm going to take half of 10, that's going to give me 5. So that means that gives me 5x. And if I distribute the 10 times the 1, that gives me 10. That looks familiar. Okay, so that means we'll have our 6 is equal to 5x plus 10. Subtract 10 on both sides. That gives me my -4 is equal to 5x. And divide both sides by 5. Okay, so the difference between those two approaches is one, you just multiply what you need to get your numerator, or 2, you multiply both sides by your LCM to get your answer. So you got 2 different approaches, and you get to pick whichever approach that makes you feel comfortable. All right? Okay. What is your schedule? Love to catch you in live streams. Oh, perfect. Yeah, sometimes I was a little late today because I had a client, so I wanted to make sure that he was okay before I venture on to here, because this is a little bit extra. But again, you can see a lot of my replays if you go there. Just type in there and you'll see all of my replays. If you do go in, go ahead and just do all 5 of these things. And remember, this is a free subscription because I'm not bougie yet, okay? So you can definitely go there. All right, so I'll just say, what kind of job other than being a teacher? Well, you can have construction, you can have masonry, you can have any kind of business trying to organize and keeping your, if you have stuff to sell. There's so many jobs. What kind of job do you want? Okay, you missed that part. I'm going to go over it. Get paid by TikTok lives? No, we do not. Okay. Guillermo, why do you say you're bad at math? No, you're going to be good at math. You just wasn't presented well with math. That's why. But you're in the right place. We're here to break down stuff. Okay? So, we'll be all right. Okay? Let me see. Did I miss anybody else? Nope. Okay. All right. So, let's try another problem. Okay? And if you guys can keep on tapping, that'll be wonderful. Hey, we got an angel number of 111. So that will be awesome. So that means I must be talking to somebody that needs this. All right, so let's go right here. All right, so if we have x minus 3 over 6 equals 7 minus x over 12. All right. So we need to figure out what our common denominator is. What is our LCM? So looking at the denominators, we have a 6, we have a 12, but we have a whole number. Anytime you have a whole number, put it over 1. It doesn't devalue the number. It just makes everything into a fraction. Okay? So now we got 1, 6, and 12. What do they have in common? So David's telling me 12. Big Al's telling me 12. Kayla is saying 1. Okay. Okay. Brianna is saying 2. Okay, not the GCF. So this is what we're doing. We're not looking at the factors. We're looking at multiplication. So the 1 times table, what number does the 1 times table, the 6 times table, and the 12 times table have in common? What number do they have in common? So we're saying, you see 1, 3, 6, and 12. Okay, then let me take a look at this. Okay, side note, going over. So if we're looking at, because I'm glad you guys are saying this, because a lot of us usually gets the LCM and the GCF completely mixed up. So if we take a look, let me enlarge a little bit. Ooh, hello. Okay, so we're looking at the 1s times table, which you know, you got your 1, you got your 2, your 3s, 4s, 5s, 6. I'm going to type a little bit ahead to 12 because the highest number we have right now is 12. So if I look at the 6 times table, we have 6, we have 12, we have 18. I'm going to stop right here because 12 is like our highest number so far. And right now, I'm noticing it in both. Now I'm doing the 12 times table. We got 12. We got 24. Oh, I can stop right here because all 3 of them has the lowest number that they all have in common. Notice they all don't have 1 in common. Okay, they all don't have 2 in common, but they all have 12s in common. So that is going to be your LCM. Do we see that now? Because a lot of times we get it mixed up with like, okay, Well, it's by 2's. First is not going to be by 2's because of this 1. Okay? But if it just had the 12 and the 6, 2's will work, but that's not your greatest common factor. Your greatest common factor will be 6 because you have your 6, 12, and then you have your 12s, your factors. Okay, see it a little bit now? Yes. So I think a lot of people are generally always thinking about the GCFs. And trust me, guys, do not be embarrassed by that because it has taken me years. Even as a teacher, I had to stop and think. I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. But the thing that kind of helps me to remember, since we're seeing LCM, M also starts with multiplication. So that means every time I see I'm looking for the M, I'm looking for the multiplication tables. The GCF, that's when I'm looking for the factors. Okay? Yeah, sometimes that helps me a little bit. All right, so now that we're knowing 12s, I think you guys will probably work best if I just do the multiplication. So if we multiply everything, I want to do it individually because sometimes it makes more sense individually. I want to multiply everything by my LCM. So I'm going to multiply this by 12, this by 12, and this by 12. So I just want you to focus on the 12 and the denominator. The reason why we're doing the LCM is to get rid of that fraction. We don't like fractions. Not at all. So why keep it around? Let's get rid of it. So if I do 12 divided by 6, that's going to give me an answer of 2. So that means here, for this part, I'm going to have 2 times x minus 3. Okay? Then I bring my equal sign. So now I'm going to have my 12 times 7. So that gives me 84. I won't be able to reduce the 12 and the 1 because it's just going to be 12, right? So now I have this minus. I'm going to bring that down. But now I have 12 divided by 12. And 12 divided by 12, that gives me 1. So I have minus 1x, or I could just simply write x. So in this case, Vienna, it will be best if you do your division because the main reason why you're multiplying everything by the LCM, which is the 12, is to get rid of that denominator, to get rid of the 6, to get rid of the 1, to get rid of the 12. Okay? Yes, so we're basically divide to reduce that. Exactly. Yep. So reduce it a little bit so we don't have huge numbers to deal with. And then plus we don't have to worry about the denominators. Okay? So now let's distribute because we got distribution over here. So 2 times x, that gives me 2x. 2 times negative 3, that gives me negative 6. And then I bring down my equal sign. I bring down the 84 as well as the minus x. So now this looks a little more manageable. So now we're dealing with what's called a multi-step equation. Ultimate goal, we want to get all our x's on one side of the equal sign, okay? The main goal is we eventually want to isolate the variable. The variable in this case is our x's. So it would be awesome if we can put all our x's on one side. Now here's the thing. It doesn't matter. There's so many teachers like, you should put it on the left-hand side. And it doesn't matter. You're going to get the same blessed answer. All right? So here's my thing. I want to add the x over here because my x's are going to be positive. Now, if that 2x was over here and that minus x was over here, I would still add the x and put it over here because I like to deal with positive x's. But you're going to get the same answer because we know the rules of integers. So we're going to add x. And this is the one thing as you start advancing, because right now I'm just showing it step by step. Negative x plus x, that will give me 0. Placeholder, don't need it because we still got the 84 over here. Just bring down that 84 and the equals. All right, bring down my minus 6. Now we can combine 2x plus 1x. If you don't see a number in front of that x, it's assumed to be a 1. So that will give me 3x. So as I was saying earlier, eventually you're going to be able to do this isolation of our variable all in one line. That's possible, but since I'm demonstrating, I think it'll be best if I do it step by step. I don't want to lose anybody, okay? So you have a negative 6 plus 6. They cancel out. Don't need to put the 0 because I still have the 3x on that side of the equal sign. So what I do is just bring down that 3x, bring down the equal sign, and then add 84 plus 6, which gives me 90. Now, trying to isolate our variable. So we got 3 times x. There's no plus or minus sign in between the 3 and the x. So this is multiplication. Okay, there's no such thing as 3xx. This is not porn. Calm it down. All right, all we're doing is the inverse of multiplication. This is when we're doing division. Let's keep it clean. All right, so 3 divided by 3, they cancel out. Then we have our x is equal to 90 divided by 3. Don't get overwhelmed with the 2-digit, with the single digit. Cover up that 0 for a second. You got 9 divided by 3. That gives me 3. Now, bring down the 0. 30. Okay. There you go, Papa. All right. So x equals 3. There you go. All right. So I like to take things step by step because the people that I like to talk to are the people that know the struggle. You were years ago in school, in a classroom, and it seemed like everyone knew what was going on. And you were just sitting there like, how is everyone getting these answers so quickly? Or the teacher always calls on you and that teacher always makes fun of you. You're like, how do you not know this already? Have you heard that phrase? Or you should know this. Have you heard that phrase? Okay, if you have, this is the live for you, okay? I go through this concept step by step. And if you have questions, you put it into the chat. I'll be able to read it. Yes, because there's a lot of us that know how to do it and just could zip right through. But we've had many years of that, and that developed our math phobia. So now we're trying to pass it on to our kids and saying, oh, I was never good at math. And guess what? You're probably not going to be good at math either. It's not a hereditary thing, okay? It's all because you didn't have a teacher that just broke it down. Or maybe you had one, and then all of a sudden, they got disgruntled, and they left. Hi. Welcome to my life, okay? Right? So it does take some practice. It does take all that. And yes, Veronica, we are going to have another problem. Yep. All right. I know. Stardust, I feel you. You didn't even have to say it. I felt it. Okay. Let's see. What grade do we start this in? This is usually like Algebra 2. I usually see it in Algebra 2, or unless you're taking honors Algebra 1. Oh, the integral stuff? Whoo. Yeah, that's not me. Do I have a book? Right now I don't. I'm still developing, but I do have courses already ready and raring to go. So, I want to make sure I do not get all that. You were always a stargazer. Yeah, because like if you didn't feel a connection to it, you have no idea. Like for me, once they started putting letters and numbers in algebra, I was like, why? Why? I was like already having problems with fractions, and all of a sudden, yep. You're now crazy because of you, math teachers. Don't you put me in with everyone else, sir, Papa. I resent that. I am not like everyone. Trust me, I know there's other things in life. You're doing this in elementary math class? Awesome. Okay. What? Divide the Captain Crunch. You're funny. Okay. I was like, wait, what? All right, so here is our next one. Oh, and another thing, I like to make sure I read the comments when something comes up and I see somebody. I want you to be seen. Okay? I want you to know that you are seen. I'm not going to ignore you, but just be honest with me. If you do have a problem, if you are a troll, just please move on. We do not have time. And I think even the trolls should stay. The reason why I say that is because you're probably one of the ones that was like really fearful of math, and you just feel like, I just need to say something. Go ahead, speak your piece. Say what you need to say. Speak with your chest. All right? So, before we do anything, we got 3 fractions, which is beautiful. So that means I need to figure out what my LCM is. What is my LCM? Oops. Okay, so Big Al with 3, Veronica with 3, Vienna 3, D 3, 6. Why am I saying 3s? I'm having a stroke. So Big Al 6, Veronica 6, Vienna 6, D 6. Everybody's like looking at their own stuff. Okay, what is the LCM? The least common multiple. So that means what number in the 6 times table, the 2 times table, and the 3 times table that they all have in common. I know, right? You're welcome. All right. So it's not going to be 12. Oh, actually it is. So it's going to be the least common multiple. Where did my paper go? Here we go. Okay, so if we go with the 3 times table, we have our 3. We have our 6, 9, 12, 15. 2 times table, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 6 times table, 6, 12, 18. So we're looking at the lowest number that they all have in common. Boom, boom, boom. It's going to be 6. Okay, the least common. Yes. Thinking about when I'm going to use that. Okay, just depending on how you think about it. Okay, so we're good. Okay, yes, 12 is one of them, but 12 isn't the lowest. All right, so my LCM we got is 6. So we're going to use that 6, and we're going to multiply all 3. I like to do it individually. That's just my thing. All 3 of these are going to be multiplied by 6. The reason why I do them individually is that I can't miss one. That's the worst, when you do all this work and then you're like, how did I get it wrong? All because of your very first step. That's the biggest agitation that I could ever have in my whole entire life, right? It's just like you trying to do everything. You think you got all the recipe and then you forgot the cheese. Really? It was called like some kind of cheese thing. Like it has the word cheese in the recipe and you totally forgot the cheese. So now we're going to divide our LCM with the denominator. So 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. So the 6 and the 3 is gone, and the 2 is being multiplied to our numerator. So that means here we have 2x squared. Bring down the plus sign. So now we're going to divide the 6 and this 2. That gives us 3. So this gives us 3x. Bring down the equals. Now we're going to do 6 divided by 6. That gives me 1. And that leaves me with 5. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we got a high degree of 2. Anytime we have a degree of 2, that means we got a quadratic formula. We got to deal with some quadratics. We got to do some factoring. So this is when I love people telling me certain things. We can, since it already has set up like this, we can do complete the square. We could subtract it and do AC method. Okay, even though our leading coefficient is not 1, but we still can do it. A lot of people are like, I've never even heard of the AC method. Well, let me show you. All right. In order for you to do the AC method, your equation has to equal 0. So let's put it all in one color. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. So before we can do anything, we need to identify what our A is, what our B is, and what our C is, all based off of this standard form. So the A is always the coefficient of your x squared, the B is the coefficient of your x, and the C is your constant. So my A is 2, my B is 3, and my C is negative 5. So the reason why they call it the AC method is not because it's my initials, it's because you're multiplying the A and the C. So you got your 2 times negative 5, that gives me negative 10, and you rewrite your B, which is 3. So what we have to do, which is the hardest part with factoring, okay? If you're not strong with your multiplication table, factoring is going to be hard, okay? Multiplication is just fast addition. So we have to think, what two numbers multiplied will give me a negative 10, and the same two numbers add together to give me 3. Okay, let's see what we've got in the chat. I feel like I'm ignoring you. So we have negative 5, 2, negative 5, 2. Okay, it's not obsolete for me. Okay, what's going on? Are you guys still trying to talk about like when to do this? Don't stress yourself, please. Okay, you don't need this in the Army, but here's the thing, you need this to get into the Army. Trust me. I've had, especially the last month, a good 7 people. And recently, last weekend, I got someone that scored high enough so he doesn't have to do the jobs, the S jobs. All right. I know you were too busy arguing with people. Don't argue with people. Okay. Please repeat the last step. Okay. See, you guys are so busy arguing with people, raising your blood pressure. Stop it. Just ignore it. Okay. All right. So here we go. We got to factor it. That means my equation is not going to equal 5. It's going to equal 0. So we're going to subtract the 5 on both sides so we can have our equation equal to 0. Now, we are taking, this is in standard form. We're taking the A is in front of your x squared. Your B is in front of your x, and your C is your constant. So that's why the A is 2, the B is 3, and the C is negative 5. The reason why this is called the AC method is because you're multiplying your A and your C. 2 times negative 5, that's where the negative 10 came from. And you rewrite your B. That's where the 3 comes from. So now you got to think, what two numbers multiplied together will give you a negative 10, and add together to give you a 3, which I said was the hardest part. And a lot of people were telling me -5 and 2, okay? Not -2 and 5, -5 and 2, okay? So if you ever get stuck, here we go. Here's 10. Factors of 10 is 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. So I want to know which one of those can I add up together to get me a 3. But you can't add them. You're going to have to subtract them because we're looking at a -10. So I know if I do 5 and 2, the 2 has to be negative because 5 plus -2 will give me a positive 3. All right? Okay. Now, here we go. Almost done. So this is your favorite part. Fractions. We're going to set up 2 of them. The reason why I'm setting up 2 is because of my highest exponent. My exponent is a 2. That means I'm going to have 2 solutions. Either 2 real, okay, or maybe 2 complex. But I'm going to take my A, which is a 2, and I'm going to write it out twice. I'm going to take the variable that we're using, and I'm going to write that out twice. Now, the numbers that we found, the 5 and the -2, they're going to represent my denominator. Now I'm taking a look at the fractions. This first fraction doesn't need to be reduced. Beautiful thing. And it's going to represent my first parenthesis. My numerator comes first, so it's 2x plus 5. Now I'm looking at my second fraction. Hey, that can be reduced. If I reduce it by 2, that means this is a 1, and this is now a -1. And that's going to represent my second parenthesis, which is x minus 1. We started off with an equation. We're finishing out with the equation. Okay? That's factoring using the AC method. But we're not done. We need to set these 2 parentheses equal to 0 because we want to figure out what our x values are going to be. So we have 2 equations. One of them is 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. And the other equation is x minus 1 is equal to 0. For this one, I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, which gives me 2x is equal to -5. Then we divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to -5 halves. So that's one solution. The other solution is a lot easier. All we have to do is add 1. So now you have x is equal to 1. And those are your 2 solutions. Okay, I know 50 years later, but here we are. Those are our 2 solutions. Okay. Yes, it is a different method. It's called the AC method. It's more confusing, so understandable. Okay. Yeah, anything that's different, it's going to be weird. But I'm telling you, as soon as you keep practicing it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Because I know a lot of you guys do grouping. Like you replace the middle term and then you do grouping in the first 2 terms and grouping in the second 2 terms. And the reason why this is confusing is because you don't like fractions. And you know the reason why a lot of people decided, because they never did it that way. They always did it through this. By grouping is because you guys can't do fractions. It's not like you can't do fractions, but they don't push fractions. They try to make everything nice and rounded. But that's not how life is. Right? Yes. Yes, he is. Okay. You're not smarter than a 5th grader? Okay, so Veronica, I need for you to change that attitude. Don't make me find you. I need for you to change that attitude. Don't let other people tell you or make you feel that you're not smart enough. This is a real talk right now for everyone that's in here, all 280 of you. You definitely can do it. I'm sitting here from a person that I hated math, and now I'm a math teacher. I don't know how that happened, but I think it was God's way. So I'm here to help, and I'm here to process. So go ahead, change that mindset. I know we use it as a defense mechanism, but bunk that, okay? You definitely can do it, okay? All right. Is there a faster way to break this down? Nope. This is it. No matter what, there's going to be a lot of work that's going to go to it. And I think the reason why it takes a while is because of our multiplication and those integers, knowing the right signage. That's what's killing us. Multiplication, knowing your signs, and fractions. But if you can get the multiplication down, you're going to be able to get the fractions so much quicker. Okay? Sure. All right. So I think, let me go back. When it comes to what's called standard form, now maybe that's the part that's missing. So when it comes to standard form is like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? This is what standard form is. And if you notice, once we subtracted the 5 on both sides and we got this equation, this is in standard form. So your A, notice the A and the 2 are in the same spot. Notice the 3 and the B are in the same spot. And the -5 and the C are in the same spot. Okay. Yes. Okay. And the big X. Okay. So once you figure out what your A, B, and C is, it's called the AC method because you're multiplying the A and the C. Multiply 2 times -5. That gives you -10. Then you take your B and rewrite it underneath. So then you have to ask yourself, what 2 numbers multiplied together will give you a -10 and add together to give you 3? Okay. All right. So Maya, if you think it's basic math, what's your question? Okay. Well, good luck with your life, Chew, Chow, Cho, Leopard. Okay. Okay. It is a lot to remember. Yeah, it is a lot to remember. Oh, okay. I just saw exactly, and I was like, so what am I doing? All right. All right, well, thank you. All right, thank you, Houston. How are you? Welcome back. Okay, so it's like as soon as we get into a little more advancement, you're going to see bits and pieces of the foundational stuff happening. Okay. Can we use the same numbers we multiplied as our answer? What do you mean, like this part, Big Al? The 5 and the -2? Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Yes, so you're using those as your denominator when you come down to the factoring. Because once you get down to the factors, which is your parenthesis, then you're going to set each of those parentheses equal to 0. So the reason why we're trying to find this is we're trying to find the denominators that we're going to use to break down to find our individual parentheses. Okay, all right, perfect. I don't, maybe, Ken. I don't. I try to at certain points, but sometimes it gets lost in translation. Okay. Exactly, Houston. Thank you. All right. So let me see if I can do another one. But let me see if I can. Okay, we can try this one. Just going to see if I can try one with a variable, but I'm not sure if we're there yet. Like, I want to challenge, but I don't want you to, like, leave out of here going crazy. Like, she did this to us. Let's try this. 4x minus 2 over 7 minus 5/14 equals 2x. Okay. It is crucial. Yes, it is. Okay. All right, Maya, I explained it 3 times already. If anything, just go to find the replay. Just give me some time to upload the replays. You can go here, okay, type in this or this, and then you'll see all my replays for YouTube. There's actually a playlist called really deep, called TikTok Lives. It's not that deep, okay? So if anything, you can watch it on there. And also, I've actually did a whole session with the AC method. So if you really are serious about the AC method, you can find that. All right? Because I know it's rather new to a lot of people. Okay? So if you just go here. And if you guys can do these 5 things, do this. It's a free, okay? Then you do this, and turn that one on so you know of notifications. All right, you're so welcome. Okay, hey Austin. Not a problem. More than willing to do it. Okay, so let's get started. Keep on tapping if you can, so we can see if we can get more people that needs. Trust me, I know there's a lot of people that are struggling, because I don't know about you, us in the United States, we are not doing very well with math. All right. It's very easy to take advantage of people when they don't understand math. Trust and believe. So, first, make your whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now, we need to figure out what the LCM is. What number, through the multiplication, the 1 times table, the 14 times table, and the 7 times table, what do they all have in common? I do to a point. I have to see what kind of statistics you're doing. If it's for nursing, I think I'll be able to. Okay, so Kaya, hey Kaya, I'm not sure if I said hi to you earlier. You said 14, we have 1, Christopher. Hello, Christopher, welcome back. It says 14, Austin 14, Big Al 14, Leopard saying 7. You guys are keep mixing up. Saying 7, you're saying 7. College statistics. Let me take a look at what you're doing. If anything, message me, and we'll see if we can take it to a step further. Okay, Alexander 7, 1. All right, here we go. Back to the list. Okay, so 1 times table. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, got 4, and I'm going to keep going all the way up to, like, say 14, since 14 is my largest one. Then we got the 7 times table. We have 7, we have 14, we have 21. I can kind of stop right here. And there's more. Then we have the 14 times table. We have our 14, we have our 28. I don't even have to go that far to see that all 3 of them, the lowest number they have in common is 14. That is going to be your LCM. Okay, got it? Okay. I know, it's hard. It's really tough between LCM and the GCF because we have GCF engraved in our head so much that we forget what LCM is. All right, so that 14, we are going to multiply everything by that 14. The reason why we're multiplying everything by the 14 is so we can get out of this fraction form. Okay? This is only happening when you're solving. Okay? This is not happening that much when you're solving. When you're simplifying, it's a different world. Okay? But when you're solving, this is what you're doing. So now 14 divided by 7, that gives me 2. So this is saying I'm going to have 2 times my 4x minus 2. Okay? Bring down the minus sign. Now, 14 divided by 14, that gives me 1. So what's left is going to be our 5. Bring down the equals. And then you have 14 divided by 1. That gives me 14. So what's left is 14 times that 2x. Okay. Yeah, don't separate this. Don't separate that. I know you're probably thinking like, oh, well, I could factor out the 2. Just wait. Be patient. All right. So now we got distributive property here, and we have simple multiplication going on over here. So 2 times 4, that gives me my 8x, minus 2 times my 2, that will give me my minus 4. Now I'm going to bring down my minus 5, as well as the equals. And then 14 times 2, again, will give me my 28x. Okay, so right now, we have x's on both sides of the equal sign. So again, this is a multi-step equation. So we want to get our x's on one side, but at the same time, we got like terms right here. We can combine those two because both of them are on the same side of the equal sign. So negative 4 minus 5. Yep, I got you, Houston. Maybe negative 4 minus 5, that will give me my negative 9. Okay, you owe me $4. For some sick and twisted reason, I loaned you $5 more. Now you owe me $9. So bring down my 8x, bring down my equals, and my 28x. So by combining these, they're on the same, they're right here. So instead of bringing the 28x over to the 8x, there will be nothing left over there. We like to keep things nice and even. So in order for us to do that, we're going to subtract the 8x. Okay? Doesn't make any sense for me to like, oh, let me subtract the 9 and then let me subtract the 28. Why? You're doing all these extra steps. So now 8x minus 8x gives me 0. Again, I don't need the 0 because I still have this negative 9 right here. Then we have our equals 20 over x. Okay, or 20x. Now we want to divide by 20. Okay. And here we are. X is all by itself on one side of the equal sign. That's the goal. And my final solution is negative 9/20. Now, when you're taking all these crazy assessments, ACT, SAT, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, what else we got? GED, TEAS test, any of those standardized tests, you have to understand the way that you're taught in the classroom is different from how you're being tested, just in case you haven't figured that out. Does it make any sense? No. How many times have you sat in the class and you've gone through the notes and you're like, yeah, okay, this is easy. Yeah, I can get this. And then you get the test or you get a homework assignment and it looks completely opposite of what your notes say, looks completely opposite of what you've been working on for the last week. And then you're just like, I will never win. Okay, good. So with all of that, because the way that you're being taught is designed to be different from you being tested, because nowadays teachers don't make their own tests. Like when I was in the classroom, we sat down as a group. We sat down as an Algebra 2 course or the Algebra 1 or integrated topics or bridge classes, whatever class that we were teaching in. We sat down as a group and we sat down and we wrote our own tests. We wrote our own quizzes. Teachers don't do that anymore. They may do their own quizzes, and you notice your child or you are doing great on the quizzes, but when it comes to the test, you're like, I just can't do it, because the test is not designed by the teacher. It's designed by some corporation. So that's why it's always harder when you get all your tests and everything. And that's kind of the reason why I want to kind of lessen the anxiety. Because one of the other services that I'm doing, and this is going on right now, is I'm doing some mock practice tests for people that are doing college algebra. And even if you're taking your GED or your ASVAB and you just want to do a practice test and just get a good idea where you're at, because everyone's like willing to sell you a course or willing to sell you all this stuff, but sometimes you don't have an idea where you're at. They just say, oh, you didn't pass. Okay, what does that mean? Like, what is it that I need to work on? So I just compiled practice tests, and what I'm doing is like 35 questions. I'm setting aside like 59 minutes because that gives you like a minute 50 per question. And then what happens at the end, once you get your time to do the test, I go over the answers. And you can ask questions like, where did that 7 come from? Or like, why are we squaring it? And how did you get that equation from that word problem? Like, all of that is going to be dealt with in there. And you also have an opportunity to get the replay, to get the actual test and my answer key for additional costs. But the entrance is $10. If you're interested, just go ahead and message me and I'll send you all the information that you need. The next one that's coming up is on Wednesday at 7 p.m. So I know I will be going live afterwards like I did yesterday. And then also on Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sunday at 7 p.m. will be the last of it. So the last of it is this week because a lot of people are taking their final exams the week of the 30th or the 31st. So that's just a service that I'm offering up, and it's up to you to take advantage of it if you want to. Okay, so if you know of anyone that is taking the GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, and every test is different. It's not the same test. That's just weird to me. Okay, so every test is completely different. All right. Hey, Michael. Are you going back and forth, Michael? I mean, even Michael, he took the test with me yesterday, and that was fun. And he found it was like very informative. So if you see Michael R. and you want to, do you mind if anyone has questions, if they can message you and you can share out whatever you would like to share out, whatever is available? All right. Okay. Back and forth. Oh, between work and live. Well, I don't want you to get in trouble. But I appreciate you. All right. I'm going to do one more because I actually have time for one more, which is a rarity. But I'm going to do it on my one sheet of paper. Now, if you like my books, okay, just to put this out there, these are my personal notebook I designed. Okay, I designed so people can have like their formulas in one section. They can have their steps written down if they want some steps, and give you space for you to put and organize your notes, as well as I showed before, give you some resources. So yes, we have a factor sheet from 1 to 200. We have the rules of integers. Okay, we have the proper operation terminology. What words can help you translate those word problems? We have order of operations, both here in the States as well as international. We also have the properties of exponents, both here in the States as well as international. We also have the properties of exponents. So sorry. I know, I love when people think that I do nothing all day. Let me call Audrey, she's bored. No, definitely not. All right, so we have volume, we have surface area, area of the sector, arc length, also all the formulas for area, perimeter, as well as circumference. And then also we have the unit circle for my advanced ones. I'm actually making a book for my Algebra 2 pre-calculus. That's what I'm going to be doing today. But I already finished up my Algebra 1 book, so I'm going to publish that sometime either today or tomorrow. So if you want your own notebooks, that's awesome. If you want so many things. Oh, maybe not. So if you want, you can order yours today. Okay, it usually takes about a week to get to you. You could order it through here, but I only get 50 cents per book. But if you order through here, you'll get it in a week's time, but you'll be able to get it just in time for school. Okay, so we have those math notes. I also have my Audrey's notes and so forth. Okay. Where can you get it? You can go Books by Audrey Codner. Okay, and I'm currently working, well, I'm not currently, but I will be working on creating a workbook because it seems like, yeah, a lot of people needs to practice. Not a problem. Yeah. And I tried to make it a little challenging because then when you take the actual test, you're going to be like, oh, this is not bad at all. Okay. Okay. So how much, City Girls, how much for which one? Because I mentioned so many different things. The book, probably. And it's going to be like around 18. Because I put so much stuff in it. And it's print and color. Color is not cheap. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's pass on. Let's try one more. And then I have to get myself ready for my next student. Okay, so also another thing, if you want someone to help you with tutoring, it's here. Do not fret. Okay, so I have my 5y minus 1 over 12 plus y over 3 equals negative 1/4. And we need to find my LCM. All right, let's see if we got this. We have 12, we have 3, we have 4. All 3 spots have fractions, so good. We don't have to put it over 1. What's my LCM? So Austin is saying 12. Hey, Amber, how are you? Okay. Yes, the Audrey's notes is for like 23. And I was trying to reach for my Audrey's notes, and I don't know where it went. This is what happens when you start cleaning, and then all of a sudden you have one. Oh, here it is. Yeah, like you have one tutoring session, all of a sudden, like, where's all my stuff? Okay, do what I want. Yes, that's 12. Yes, Big Al, 12. Danielle, how are you? 12. Matt is 12. Good. Simone, 12. Yes, thank you. I think we're starting to get it now. All right, we're starting to get it. So, K, 12. Yes. Oh no. Oh no. Saying 12. Okay. So that means we're going to multiply all three spots by 12. So this is a 12. This is a 12. And this is a 12. The reason why we're multiplying by the LCM is so we can get rid of the denominators. So now we have our 12 divided by 12. That gives me 1. So that means all we have to do is bring down my 5y minus 1. Bring down the plus sign. So now we have our 12 divided by 3. 3 is gone. That's a 1. And then here we have a 4. So it's going to be 4 times y, which is 4y. Bring down my equal sign. And now we have 12 divided by 4. That gives me 3. And we have to multiply this 3 with the negative 1. So that gives you negative 3. Yep, just multiply the dominant. There you go. All right. So now, this is a multi-step equation. I notice our y's are on the same side of the equal sign. So if I go ahead and combine those, I will get my 9y. Then we have our minus 1 equals negative 3. Okay, good. We got those like terms. There we go. We got our 9y's. Good. All right. So now we're going to add 1. So negative 1 plus 1 cancels out. Don't need the 0 because we still have the 9y involved. So negative 3 plus 1, that'll give me my negative 2. Good, Austin. Good. So now, let's finish it out. Divide both sides by 9 because we want to isolate that variable. 9 divided by 9 will give me 1. And that's shown in your y. So that'll be 1y. And then we leave it as negative 2/9. And usually, when it gets to about here, I know I'm going to divide by 9 and it's not going to be even. I start looking at my answer choices, especially if it's a multiple choice. Because they don't care how you do the work. They just care, did you pick A, B, C, or D? So they're not collecting your work and say, oh, let's give this person extra credit because they did all this work on the paper. They don't care. They throw that stuff out. Supposedly recycle. Supposedly. Okay? Right? Yep. And they're not going to have you simplify more. They're usually going to leave it as a fraction because they want the exact answer. They don't want anything rounded unless it says what is the approximate answer. If they said approximate, yes, you can give me my decimals. But if they don't, they want the exact. Okay? All right. Questions? I know there was a whole lot of back and forth for when to use it. Look, It all depends on what you want to do with life. Okay, no? Linear equations? Yeah, I think like for tonight, I will be back on at 9:30, and I'm going to be solving radical equations. So we did rational equations. Tonight I'm going to be doing radical equations. That one was kind of easy. Yeah. I think the factoring threw a lot of people. Because I know I do the AC method. And a lot of people are like, wait, what's the AC method? And I'm like, that was the hip and happening thing like about 5 years ago. And then everyone said, nope, our kids don't know how to do fractions, so we're just going to have them do grouping. Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going to teach AC method. Do you do +1 because it was a side of y? Yes. Yep, so that's the reason why I added 1, because we want to isolate that variable. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. The like terms made it simple. And you're like, oh, yes. Don't have to deal with any crazy exponents and all that. Yeah, just try to keep it simple. And that's what you do. You just try to break it down to something that is familiar. But if you've had not that much exposure to like the foundational pieces, that's another factor. And it's upsetting, but here we are. Okay. But I'm not saying you can't live without life, but here's my thing. Everybody needs to know the multiplication table. Everybody needs to know how to calculate sale prices. Everyone needs to know how to balance any kind of equation, because you got to balance your checkbooks and all. Like, you guys don't even use checkbooks anymore, but you just go ahead and say, oh, well, the bank will take it out, and this, oh, okay, yeah, I just get it online. You better check that stuff, because sometimes they'll be adding some extra fees, a little 6 cents here, a little 3 cents there, and you're like, why are you taking out 3 cents and 6 cents? And they're like, oh, I don't know why they're doing that. Yeah, put that back in. And I had to do that once with my bank. So always double check your stuff. Do not be oblivious like, oh yeah, I can just do it through the app and all this stuff. Yeah, they're going to try to give you convenience, so that will deter you or just throw you off their scent when they take a little extra 5 cents here, an extra 10 cents there. That stuff adds up. 5 cents almost every day? Go ahead. Do it for 30 days. What's 5 cents for 30 days? Calculate it. $0.05, 30 days. How much is that? How manipulate polynomials? I did polynomials already, actually. Fairly recent. If anything, go to the YouTube channel. Sorry, just shouldn't have mentioned it, but go there. Hopefully they didn't catch it. All right. But there is a video that I did on that, right? Okay, so that's for 30 days, right? So 5 cents with your 30 days. So you have, so you're saying $15? So 5 cents for 30 days? It's not $15. So 5 cents a day. There we go. Thank you. Okay, that's $1.50. So that's in 1 month. So $1.50 times that by 12, that'll give you $18. So I don't know about you. I'm not saying $18 is gonna, make me shift in some great movements, but $18 can do a little something. But if you have multiple apps, maybe you have multiple cards, maybe you have multiple credit cards, that stuff adds up. It adds up. So just be cautious. No one should be taking any of my money unless I'm giving it to you. Enough said. The end. All right. So, if anything, if you guys need any assistance, so here are all of my services. If you need any tutoring, maybe small group tutoring. I know the school year is about to come up, and especially if your child or maybe yourself are going into Algebra 2, yes, that's my jam. But would I do Algebra 1? Yes. Trig, yes. Geometry, yes. Okay, know how to break all these concepts down. Then if you just want to say, you know what, I need a course, I need some kind of guidance, but some of these people are asking crazy amounts for their stuff. I do have some self-paced courses. One is just for the course, that's for $147. But if you want the course with 30-minute tutoring, like you're doing some stuff and you're like, I'm really stuck on that, boom, just set up a tutoring course. It's going to be part of this fee. So that $197, you can go here to go ahead and register. Again, if you like the books, you can go here. And I think I didn't show you Audrey's notes, which Audrey's notes is a collection of all my notes that I have here on TikTok. I just put it all in one book. And what happens is at the bottom, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you will see the actual live that I did for this lesson. So you're basically following along. It's almost like a tutoring session for a heck of a lot cheaper. Okay? And right now, books 1 through 4 is out, ready, available, and we're currently working on book 5. Okay? Like logs? I did logs. Where were you? Again, go here. I did logs. I expanded. I condensed. Yep, did all those logs. I can do it again, but I'm just saying if you need it right here, right now, go there to get that. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if we were friends yet. Maybe I didn't hit your FYP, but definitely I did do logs. It's on there. But can I do it again? Of course I can do it again. But if you need it right here, right now, go there. Okay? All right. All right, everyone. I have to skedaddle. I will see you tonight at 9:30. As I said, we're going to be solving using the roots, the radicals. So I'm going to change it a little bit. Might be square roots. Some might be cubics. Some might be even to the 4th or the 5th. I know, it's going to be crazy. But it's the same concept. All right, so I will see you guys. And if anything, I'll be here tomorrow at 1. Wait, hold on. Tuesday. Yes, tomorrow I had to look at my schedule sometimes. Oh, no, I will not. No, I will. No, I won't. I'll be here tomorrow at 9:30. I forgot I had an emergency one. Okay, so I'll be here at 9:30 tomorrow night and also tonight. All right, so I will see you. Have a lovely day. Let's see. I watch a lot of teachers on this app that breaks it down like you all need an Audrey. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Big Al. I appreciate that. All right, no problem, Simone. All right, have a lovely day, guys, and I will catch you guys tonight. All right, bye now.